sorry, Mr. Bryan.
It's all right, Doctor. See, I already knew. I came to you for a second opinion. The only difference is you gave me from 9 to 18 months. The other doctor gave me from 1 to 2 years. He also said I'd feel normal and healthy until the last few weeks.
Well, he's right. I hope he's right about the length of time. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm 34, no family. Haven't taken a day off since I left law school. I guess I'll try to squeeze 20 years of living into 1 or 2.
I don't want to hold out any false hopes, but research is being done. So please, always, let me know where you are.
Ici, s'il vous plaît. Je vais à Hôtel Beau Rivage.
Je voudrais aller à l'hôtel Beau Rivage. If I were you, sir, I would only resort to French in moments of dire emergency. Is it possible, sir, that you are new on the French Riviera?
Well, if one day is new, then I'm new.
Men kenne betun komak konan?
Ballet, Monte Shakeran.
You think you knew how to drive?
A first at Monte Carlo, a third at Milano, and about 10 gold medals.
But little Leslie got there first.
Ah, little Leslie is mad.
She's an American, isn't she? An American girl?
Miss Leslie Thurston is an American girl the way this is a used car. If I may make a suggestion, sir, for a few thousand francs, I will drive you to Cannes or Nice or some other resort full of tourists. Much more your style than the Leslie Thurstons.
What do you mean by the Leslie Thurston?
They may be just over your head, monsieur. For example, they speak many languages, including one all their own.
What are they doing over there? Fishing?
No, monsieur, they are scuba diving.
Oh. Is there a place where I can buy diving equipment?
Of course. But it is perhaps a poor investment because in a couple of weeks or so she'll be off again. To Peru or Chile for summer skiing.
A couple of weeks might be just right.
funcionamos unidos.
Come on, Stas.
I say, Stas, haven't you any coffee on the road?
Now hear this. If anyone does not feel in ship-shape shape, say so now.
How many of us are there? 9, 10?
Everyone feel okay? And everyone understand that this is serious, dangerous business? Anyone harboring a death wish is disqualified.
They did it in Saint-Tropez last year and had 2 deaths.
I'm not worried. I haven't got a death wish in me.
Thank you.
Hi, Leslie. How have you been? I'm Paul Bryan.
Oh. You planning to dive?
Sure.
Try your luck. Number 10, you'll have a long wait.
Are you one of Leslie's friends?
Actually, I'm a friend of Stas.
We're making up a little pool. It's 1,000 francs each. I'm holding the loot.
Oh, well, I'd be glad to put in 1,000 francs. I'm staying at the hotel. Is my credit good?
No guest of Stas could possibly be a credit risk. Just write down the depth you mean to dive, and anyone who doesn't meet his depth has to forfeit the 1,000. Still want to play?
But what's to keep me from writing down a nice, easy depth?
That's your problem, Clyde. Just write down your depth.
What did you put down?
220.
220? Leslie, my dear, I'm going to see you lose at something at last.
The odds against that just doubled.
240? Ma foi.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
When's your turn?
7.
Oh, well, we both have a long wait. Have lunch with me. Now, there must be a restaurant in a metropolis like Octave.
All the way into Octave and back?
Oh, what's the matter? You tire easily?
Did I hear you say you're going to try for 240?
Well, what's the matter? That's only 20 feet deeper than Leslie.
Only 20 feet deeper. Are you an experienced diver?
Well, I didn't learn yesterday.
Okay, then. I'll put myself down for 240 also. But I will make it before you. I am number 3 to dive.
1,000 francs, I beat you to shore.
Uma canção, quem ouvir o coração, o amor encontrará, ouvindo esta canção, alguém compreenderá o seu coração. Quem ouvir o balalá terá feliz o coração balalá. Ouvindo esta canção, alguém compreenderá o seu coração. Quem ouvir o balalá terá feliz o coração balalá. O balalá, o balalá, o balalá, o balalá.
Well, I
to Artif on the French Riviera this season.
What?
I came here because of a magazine article I read. I'm very glad I did.
I thought you said you came with Stas.
Oh, well, I lied. I swam out there to meet you.
I'm not that difficult to meet. So, Artif's been discovered. I'm sorry. When that happens to a little town like this, Campsville,
Campsville?
all the things that make it what it is are pushed aside, and in their place, camp.
What's camp?
Darn if I know, Ferg. Anyhow, the town will be all right for a little while. For instance, the Countess Tredsky is letting us use her landing strip next week. We'll be doing a little skydiving.
Gee, that's great news.
Well, I know it sounds like a desperate sport, but it's not really. Well, my instructor in Cuernavaca, where I learned, said that it reminded him of swimming in the moonlight.
It seems like a much sounder idea. Now, why don't we discuss that?
You really ought to try it while you're here. Skydiving. Free fall is where you feel that you finally broke out. You fall in love with the whole hung-up world.
You know, I read the back pages of newspapers, and it seems to me I've seen quite a few little stories. Skydiver killed.
Enemy propaganda. It's really not dangerous at all.
You know that's not true. As a matter of fact, isn't it the danger that you like?
I don't know, maybe. Wasn't it Nietzsche whose stick was living the full life? And he put his message in just 2 words. Live dangerously.
Must read Nietzsche someday.
You should. He died quite mad, you know. You peel a wonderful apple.
Someday I'll show you what I can do with a pomegranate.
You're a lawyer, you said.
Was. I'm retired.
I think that's quite intelligent of you.
Friend of yours?
Sort of. My father.
Oh. Well, he doesn't look old enough to be anybody's father, except maybe for the cane.
Well, the cane isn't because he's creaking or anything. He was hunting tiger and he got clawed.
Claude?
Clawed.
What does he hunt with, his bare hands?
A spear. Hunting with a gun is like catching fish with a net. Indestructible Thurston, they call him.
You're indestructible, too, aren't you, Thurston?
You bet I am.
I'm glad to hear it.
Let's get back to the boat.
Okay. Although, there are a number of things I'd rather do with you than to watch you submerge in salt water.
It may be rather immodest of me to warn you, but I am not a candidate for a Riviera romance, if that's what you're looking for. As a matter of fact, I'm rather, you might say, straight-laced.
And you seem so modern.
A girl whose father hunts with a spear? I'll introduce you to him some other time.
This your day to visit the bottom of the ocean?
Today's the day.
Run into anyone we know.
I'll say hello for both of us.
What kind of people do you know down there? Giant clams?
Oh, it's just sort of a family saying. Come on, let's hurry. And 1,000 francs, I beat you this time. I want a chance to win my money back.
Well, why not? That's almost, 19 bucks. Meet me in the lobby.
What's the matter? What is it?
It's Henri. Leslie, he's dead.
The madness of the brain did it. On every slate, every 10 feet, he put his initials so neatly. Then he wrote at 240 feet. The scribbles of a man drunk.
Come on, Gillen. We'd better go see his family. Thank you for the lunch.
ever been to a French funeral? They're really rather marvelous. Not jolly, perhaps, but warm, loving, Latin.
I haven't, no. But I'll probably get a lot more chances if I stick around Leslie and her group. You know she intends to go right on with the diving?
I assumed she would.
If I were her father, I'd put a stop to it.
If you were her father, you'd have an entirely different expression on your face when you look at her. At least I certainly hope you would.
Oh, I'm not joking. That so-called sport is dangerous.
Life is dangerous. My daughter likes to live it fully, bravely, proudly. The trick is to live, not just survive.
Nietzsche?
No, the Beatles, I think. Maybe Ringo. Now, deep diving is really a test of a person's ability to keep his head. Test of character, like drinking well or badly. Well, Leslie will keep her head at 220 feet just as surely as she does at a champagne party. Now, first-rate people always know their limit and stay within it.
Cold as I am. Why don't we go down below for a shot of brandy?
Brandy? Before diving?
I said brandy, not hemlock.
Paul, exactly how much diving have you done?
Not very much.
How much?
The other day was my first time.
And you're going to try for 240 feet?
Well, I hear it doesn't take experience, just character. And I am loaded with character.
Let's go get some hot coffee. That's allowed.
They're just about ready for you, Leslie.
Well, then I won't have any, but Paul can. Paul has never dived before, but he insists on going down to 240. Why don't you try to talk him out of it?
On deck, everyone. Leslie's about to lose at something.
If you run into anyone we know...
I will.
She tells me that's an old family saying.
It's a way of saying be brave. Dying is just one more adventure. She had a son, older than Leslie. He was killed 10 years ago in a sports car race.
Paul Thurston. Yeah, I remember reading about it at the time. Big race in Florida.
That's right. He was a fine driver. Only his car blew a tire just at the wrong moment. Great natural athlete.
So little Leslie is trying to live up to it.
Feet.
It plays from here on, it can begin. It differs with every individual.
Like dry martinis?
Exactly. Pressure causes nitrogen in the blood to come out of solution. It makes some people quite drunk. I'm surprised the mafia hasn't stepped in and tried to bottle it.
"150 feet now, Monsieur Thurston. It was about here that the man who died began to stop and start, and I felt the line was not acting right."
He's trying to frighten me. Thinks I'm being reckless with Leslie's life.
Aren't you?
No more take chances with Leslie's life than my own leg.
"200 feet.
She is coming up.
She did it just to spite me.
She has to decompress for quite a few minutes on the way up.
Well, I'll start down while she decompresses.
Why don't you do yourself a favor? Don't try to beat little Leslie. You'll live longer that way.
You mean survive longer. And I'm not going to try to beat her. I'm going to beat her. As a favor to her and on behalf of the whole male sex.
That's my judgment.
He's in a dangerous area already. She is resting, starting a decompression. She's doing very well, very sensible.
He is stopping. He went below his goal. 250. Bravo!
Super, mais...
Bravo!
Please don't.
Straight-laced.
You might say that.
You said it.
That's right, I did.
Haven't you, ever been in love?
Not even a schoolgirl crush.
You sound quite happy about it.
I'm not unhappy about it.
What have you got against men?
I'm not sure I've met one yet.
Oh, sure you have. Your father. And me. So the Puritan in me has risen. And instead of chasing after pleasure, I've decided to salvage the hidden woman in Leslie Thurston. She's a fine human being, but she's headed nowhere. And I headed nowhere. Feeling sorry for yourself, Brian? Well, don't. You haven't got time.
This is supposed to be fun. Try to look happy. You probably didn't like caviar the first time you tried it either.
Yeah, well, I still don't. Anyway, I wasn't going by at 100 miles an hour. You got a delay opening?
Yes, but I...
Yeah, well, I'll delay as long as you do.
All right. Then arch your back and hold your arms wide. That'll slow you down and I'll catch up with you.
Got it.
Hold your ripcord!
After you, Thurston.
We're getting too low! We're getting ground rush! Unpack!
I don't know what you're talking about, but I wish you'd help me get out of this harness. We are helping in just a minute. You waited so long to open. What is the matter with you two?
He's some kind of aerial maniac. That's what's the matter with us two. How did you like it?
Can we stop now? Can we just go someplace quiet and talk about how brave we were in our youth?
Well, actually, there's nothing at all exciting on the agenda until next week.
Well, what's on for next week? If I know you, it must be something. Like being shot out of a cannon.
No, just a road race.
Did you enjoy the jump, Paul?
Matter of fact, I did. I really did.
Yes, I could see that you did. Paul Bryan. Tall, dark, and intrepid.
That's me. I have a feeling the whole world is watching.
Good. This is a major moment in my life, and it seems quite appropriate to have an audience.
Hola, mijito. Tienes que ganar. ¿Me oyes? Tienes que ganar.
Oh, my goodness.
What?
The road race. A big, competitive, nearly all-male event. And I entirely forgot. How's that for the new, improved Leslie Thurston?
The only thing wrong with the old Leslie Thurston has vanished. Now you're perfect. Now, couldn't you get out of that race? I mean, the hotel was going to pack us a picnic lunch, and I thought that...
I know what you thought, and of course I'll get out of it.
Gillen. Leslie. I'm sorry, I can't drive in the race today. You see,
Leslie, you promised you were going to drive my car.
Gillen, please, can't you get somebody else?
Leslie, unless you're really dying or something, I do think. Look, who else is there? And besides, I made a 20,000 franc bet with Baron Krug. Now, you just can't let me down.
Oh, darling, I did promise. Listen, how about you riding as my navigator? I'll take it easy, and it's a beautiful course.
Well, I guess we can't let Gillen down.
Isn't it amazing? I don't even care whether I win or lose. I just want to be with you.
I would say, monsieur, that you will not be able to do any racing or anything athletic for several weeks.
Thank you.
You've been very lucky, as I told your beautiful wife. She's so upset, so inconsolable, so guilty that she caused this.
Well, a child ran in front of us. It wasn't her fault.
She said it was. She kept saying that for the rest of her life, as long as she lives, she'd be making this up to you. I wish my wife would take such an oath.
Oui. He's much better. He wants to see you.
Paul.
I'm all right.
Oh, Paul, forgive me, please.
Wasn't your fault. Although I hear you plan to spend the rest of your life making it up to me.
Look, Paul, I know what you said about new friends and new places and new experiences, but well, couldn't you just take one old face along? I mean, only for a little while, like maybe until we have 10 children or so. Oh, Paul, I love you. And I loved you unbearably when I thought I'd killed you.
Did you?
And I even love you now that I know I didn't. We could have 12 children.
I love you too.
I know that.
Leslie, do you remember how indestructible you are?
I sure was, wasn't I?
Do you think you can be that indestructible again? That was what attracted me to you in the first place.
I guess so.
I said to myself, what kind of girl could there be for me? What kind of girl could there be for a man who can't marry, settle down? Can't, Leslie. And the answer I gave myself was indestructible Leslie Thurston.
Why can't you marry? Look, we'll talk about settling down later. First things first.
Leslie, I'll be dead in a year or so. 2 years on the outside. Guaranteed by 3 of the highest priced specialists in the United States. I have one of those afflictions they name after the poor fellow who discovered it.
But you seem so healthy. Isn't there anything that you...
Apparently nothing.
Well, is there any hope that they'll find a cure?
Sure. One of the doctors even gave me the odds. 1,000 to 1. I always let them know where I am. Hope springs eternal.
All right, then. We'll go everywhere, we'll do everything, and we'll... Why not?
Because you're fine now, Leslie. You're a whole, beautiful person. And you deserve a beautiful life. And anyway, I have to be with people who don't know about me. Don't really care. With you, I'd see it every day in your eyes. My time shortening. And you'd see it in mine. It's in your beautiful wet eyes right now. I couldn't stand that.
The doctors are absolutely sure.
Absolutely.
I think you'd better leave Octave. Fairly quickly.
Yes.
Maybe I should too. It's sort of our town.
Train's right on time.
That's good.
Incidentally, why train and boat? What do you have against airplanes all of a sudden?
I'm not in that much of a hurry. Remember, Daddy, live dangerously?
Naturally.
Well, Paul pointed something out to me. Perhaps Nietzsche meant emotionally, and not just risking your neck day after day.
Going back to Philadelphia to live, that's emotional suicide.
I'm going to find myself a man now that I know they exist. And I'm going to love. That's living dangerously. That's risk. That was the one risk I was always afraid to take, but now I can't wait to take it. And I'm going to have myself a family. And if they're all boys, you can come and live with us. But if there are any girls, just please leave the girls to me.
Watching her go.
Yes.
You seem to have had quite an impact on her.
Hope you approve.
Surprises me a little, but I think I do.
Well, she had quite an impact on me. If you want to live a full life, live dangerously.
You go along with that?
Sure, why not?
We should get better acquainted.
You once offered to drive me to Cannes. Does that offer still hold?
Of course, I shall be glad to. You were hiding here, watching her leave town.
That's right.
I told you she would be too much for you.
Well, you were right. Let's get started, chum. It's getting later all the time.